All right, let's play some Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Anders, welcome in. Anders, what did you think of Casey's Lotus comp? I want to ask the Lotus comp creator what you thought of it. He thought it was bad. He isn't here. Oh, there we go. I think running Viperless on this map is hopelessly int regardless of what you have around it. Yeah, I feel like the Viper is... it's certainly missing in a lot of these setups. But I think it at least makes more sense if you're going to run initiator combos that work well together. This one just felt like there wasn't any synergy between the two. Yeah. All right. Time to pop off. Do you have background downloads enabled in Steam options? That is a great question. No. How do I... Okay. It's downloading now. I just manually started it again. Play in French? No, I'm not going to play in French. Flooded Alpaca, thank you for the 4 months. All right, let me...
Gigantic Poggers, you are my hero.
Hi, Stanley. I'm Egg. Game Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. There we go. Have I played the Stanley Parable before? Yes, I have. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. Somewhere around there for me. It'll probably look a bit more visible for you, but that's about it. Please enter the current time? Well, I'm in the Pacific region right now, so it's 1:26 p.m. Okay. Dox myself again? Yeah, you have to find me in the... Alright, let's turn the audio up a bit. Oh, it's at full volume. Should be fine. Alright, let's go.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
I'm going to remember that.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what
That's
buttons
not a great
to
typing
push,
technique, is
how
it?
long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
Does anyone have a worse job
Stanley
in their life than this? Does anyone in chat have a worse
day, something
job?
very peculiar happened.
Hendy, thank you for
something
the
that
12
would
months.
forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
First mistake. Oh, is this me now? Oh, this is me. Okay, I got up from my desk and I stepped out into my office. Now, first of all, I'm going to lower the camera sensitivity down to 3, I reckon. Even lower. That's better. Okay. G814 to F1. Now, I can't remember much about this game. I can't remember if it's a puzzle game or whether it was... or what. The time's wrong. What was the point of me putting the correct time in if the time is wrong? 20 past 11.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, well...
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Where's the meeting room, then? Any meeting rumors? What's that? Knowing your city. It's got a chicken on it. Okay. All very linear pathways through this area at the moment.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
And now the decisions arise. And now we simply must decide. Do we listen to the voices? Do we listen to the voices? Now, if I take the door on the right, you're all going to make jokes about me being a Tory, and of course I want to go on the right. And if I take the door on the left, you're going to talk about me just being being on a leash. I think we got to listen to the voices in our head. Got to listen to the voices.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
What day was it today? Did it say? Because it was like 11:20 or something. So, I mean, we should be looking at financial panic meeting, office efficiency. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items, write next day's agenda, and reflect. Me every day. Number of slides on this slide. If you want tips for padding out your PowerPoint presentations, rate at which charts on the same slide depict the same information. Rate of increasing graphs per slide. Dude, it's going up. Circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Circle everyone write something in chat you like about me. Fill out in triplicate. Oh my god. Bald? You're just all putting bald. You all love the fact that I'm bald, huh? Okay. That's good. Broom closet. Wait, I can open doors? I didn't realize I could open doors this whole time.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet.
It's not baffling.
He wasn't even doing anything.
Yes, I am.
At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
Yeah, well,
As
I'm
it
trying to
is,
find it.
he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
No, he's searching around the room trying to find purpose in his life, and he enjoys the smaller space because it's...
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Because the smaller space is more comforting when the entire office building has been evacuated, okay? It feels like if there's...
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
Now, why would you say that?
I never would have thought to mention it.
Now, why would you say it unless there's a good reason?
maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite."
Why is he calling me out so hard?
Concerning.
With my fucking accent as well. Oh my, all right, well, you've just done me. I'm leaving the
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
No! No, he's not. No, he's not. Stanley's an upstanding member of the community, and he's not a Tory.
Well, I've
and
come
he's
to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose.
I'm not about to decompose.
Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
No, I'm fucking not going to do it anymore. We're in a war right now, me and you. You're forced to commentate while I'm not going to do a thing to make your job easier. You got to keep coming up with bullshit, sir. I'm not stepping out of this broom closet. I'm going to play dead. Now, surely you're not just going to ignore the fact that I'm staying in here now.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Oh, God. A fish, a fungus is a fucking wild thing to say. I'll get Brent online. I'll get Brent. He'll be fine with this.
If Zen wasn't supposed to flank,
now, can I bait him again by going outside and back in? Hawkers, thank you for the 5 months. He sounds so disappointed, doesn't he?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
It locked behind me! Oh! I've been cut off forever from my broom closet. Fuck. They baited me through another doorway and now I can't open it. Shit. Did he say go up or go down? I wasn't even listening. I was just thinking about the broom closet. Probably said go down. What's that? What does it say? God, I can't read it. Any people with better eyesight than me? Yeah, I came out of the closet for Pride Month. But I really, really wanted to go back in. Where am I?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. all of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
It is a bit weird.
None of it made any logical sense.
Well, why do the doors
And
keep
as
shutting
Stanley
behind
pondered
me?
this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close
That's what I'm
automatically
saying.
behind him
Why are the
wherever
doors
he went?
closing?
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream.
I'm dreaming.
What a relief,
Me
Stanley felt,
dreaming.
to have finally
Pinch
found
yourself.
an answer.
Whack
an
your head into a
explanation.
wall.
His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job.
I'm stuck in the
He
time
wasn't
loop.
crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons.
I'm just
I
going round
may
in
as well
circles.
enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Fuck.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange.
Oh, the voices.
I'm dreaming about a voice
voices.
describing me, thinking about
The
how it's
voices.
describing my thoughts.
It's
he
getting
thought.
too meta.
And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams...
Have you never dreamed
the truth
before,
was that,
Stanley?
Of course, this was not a dream.
It is a dream.
How could it be?
It is a dream.
Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
No, it's a dream.
Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
That's not true.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words
That's
was
not
quite a
true.
shock to Stanley.
That's just
After
your dream
all,
state.
He knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago?
Yeah, didn't you
How
hear-
else
didn't
would
you
the
see
voice
that?
explain all that?
Explain
this
that.
voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up,
Let me just wake
he
up.
thought to himself.
Let me wake up.
I'm through with this dream.
I wish it
I
to be
wish
over.
it to be over.
I wish it to be over.
Let me go
I'm
back
done with
to
this.
my
It's
job.
all too silly.
Let me
This
continue
is all
pushing
far
the
too
buttons.
silly.
Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is
Stanley
my
has a
life
wife.
exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal.
I
am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Surely this has worked. Fuck.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real.
Yeah,
Please,
mental
just
breakdown
someone tell
occurring.
me I am real.
Enormous
I must
mental
be real.
breakdown
I must
occurring.
be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
What the hell is
But
going
on
on?
this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man
What?
who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
What have I done
Though
to
she
Stanley?
would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal.
You've got an
I
internal
am
narrator
sane.
as well.
I am
Mariella,
in
you're
control
screwed
of my
too.
mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
No, you don't.
It was comforting to think this. And in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life.
I didn't mean to kill Stanley.
She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
That's the end. That was an ending? I just found the first ending to kill Stanley as quickly as possible. What the hell?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Oh,
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
I'm back.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's go to the meeting room quickly. Quickly, I've got a date with a broom closet. You stopped me from going in this broom closet
When Stanley
before.
came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
God damn right I did. This is the way to the broom closet.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit here in the corner and ponder my life. You got me killed! The last time I left the broom closet, I died. I'm not gonna leave this time. I'm safe in here. It's safe and warm. I have cleaning supplies. I have some water, I think. I mean, I can't really tell whether there's any water left in that, but I've got duct tape. You know, in case the uncomfortable thoughts start coming into my head again, I can duct tape my eyes and my mouth. I've got rubber tubing. I can jelk. You know, I've got everything a man needs in here, in this lovely little closet. Got everything I need. Ah.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No! No! Let me back in there! Let me in! The door's not closed. You can't close options before the door is fully closed. Let me back in. Let me back in. Let me back in. Oh, fuck. Son of a bitch. They got me again. Executive bathroom. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. What is that? What? Sorry? Extreme bathrooms. What have they been doing in here? I've got no reflection. Am I playing as a vampire? This is the boss's office. This is looking lovely. What the hell? Business strategy is gun to a panda's head. What type of business is this?
Pass into
Is this the
subscribe
metaphorical
list.
sense of they're trying to compete with China? Or is this a literal sense of they're in the business of killing pandas? What is this supposed to mean? The Chengdu hunters? Ooh. Ooh. Down we go. This is either a very slow elevator or we're going to the depths of the world. We didn't go anywhere. We still didn't go anywhere. All right, well, let's go up. I don't have a good feeling about this. Fuck's sake. It's just a vibrating room. That's not an elevator. What you've done is you've created a room that slightly vibrates and plays some music. Right. Well, that's a useless room.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Yeah,
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. Ooh. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Do I need to do something first?
2845. Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Nice. Nice. Okay, so this is my boss's secret hidden room. Oh, this elevator works, does it? The other elevator's just for show, but this one actually works. I don't know what the difference is between the Stanley Parable and
Descending deeper into the building,
Thank you for the
Stanley
105 months,
realized he
Mr.
felt a
Brennan.
bit
Are you on your way?
105 years.
It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered.
No,
for
we're not
long.
doing the sub dance.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
I'm just experimenting here. I'm just experimenting. I'm looking around. All right, I'm looking around. Does this lead back to my boss's office? Yes. What about if we go up? Oh, we can't go up. Wait, we can't go up or down. What's going on here?
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again.
Fuck
this
you,
has
okay?
fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's
Yeah, well,
that keen eye for storytelling that you have. An incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
What the fuck was the password again? I thought it was 2845. Two, 8, 4, 5. It says it's wrong.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
You've only given me one choice in the fucking game. I can only go up the elevator or down the elevator. I can't do anything else in the bloody room. What more do you... You know what? Just to piss you off, I'm going back up.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Yeah. Oh, this is bringing me enjoyment. This is how I enjoy playing games. This is how I enjoy playing games. Oh, what could it be this time? You know, one of these times it might change.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office.
The trumpet.
This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I process this.
Oh, what a stupid game.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
No, you don't. Now you're trolling me. Now you're fucking trolling me. Instead of me wasting your time, you're now wasting my time. Son of a bitch.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Yes, thank you. Well, I'm going to go back to the broom closet, if I could. If you would let me back in there. Guess what? We're going to go up and down the elevator one more time for the fucking culture.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before.
Thank you.
I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
If I walk down the corridor, is this gonna shut behind me? I might need to take advantage of the elevator while it's here. Oh! I'm not worth your time anymore, am I?
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill.
If you could let me out here, this would actually be a new destination.
Go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters?
God, this
Why
is a big
aren't we given
elevator.
time to imagine the surprises? To have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal. This is storytelling, Stanley.
Could you-
What you and I are doing right now.
Could you let me out here?
This is
Let
the
me out
most
right here.
exciting narrative
Let me out.
to be developed in years.
Let me out.
And it's really all because of you.
Let me out in
You're
a different
the one who
area
took this
then.
bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive.
Yep.
That's why people like you so much, Stanley.
Thank you.
Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're
well,
a
you know, I
role
wouldn't say
model,
that.
You know? People look up to you. Which is why, though I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life.
God, this guy's
Yes,
a
I
piece
know
of
you're
shit.
not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning.
What a
They
little
really
dickhead.
look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better.
Oh, let me out
Oh,
here.
good, we're here.
Oh, wait, this is new. My storytelling has paid off?
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
All eyes on Stanley live on stage. World's healthiest human being. How we did it, the pyramids. Okay. Right, around the corner. An evening with World Peace Baby. That's actually the Sentinel's baby before they put the jersey on.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
What does that one say? Storyteller. Stanley reveals all in his new book. World's first sentient machine. Now, I can't go back into the elevator, can I? The elevator has finally been closed off to me. Yeah, there's no going back into that elevator. Alright, well, I'm afraid we're just going to have to continue down the corridor. It's eerily quiet. Eerily. I don't think we're going towards the stage here. I think we're getting gaslighted.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative.
My green
Oh,
room's
don't
looking
worry.
lovely.
You'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
Up again, down again, the Stanley story. Congratulations, Stanley. Remember where you came from, your co-workers. Break a leg. Thanks for showing me that cool skateboard trick in the parking lot. Okay, now why do I feel like we're just going to where the elevator originally went to? Hello? Where's it? What the fuck is this? Hi, hello. So I thought the narrator was trolling. No, don't worry. I'll give my speech. Of course I will. I've passed out from the fame. I died? That was an ending? I just went up and down in an elevator a bunch of times, and that was a different ending? Okay. Well, time to go back into the broom closet.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Time to... New content? Wait a second. Sure. That seems like bait.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
That seems like bait. Where the fuck am I going? Oh no, I got baited. I've been baited in. I should have gone to the broom closet, man. At least I knew what was in the broom closet. This feels like Portal, where I was about to get dumped into an incinerator.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Yeah, okay.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
That's good. I like that.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Now, again, why why do I feel like I'm being escorted down a tunnel into death here?
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Does the elevator move? Oh,
Is it
I've been
broken?
trolled.
What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere? Or,
there we go.
All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Dude, I hate that the narrator's more hyped up than me. It's just gonna be a disappointment, mate. I know it is, because even if it's good, I'm gonna fuck it up. It's a warehouse. It's a big open warehouse. This is what they spent 9 years working on.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
I can only jump if I'm in the jump circle. Okay.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
What if I use up all of my jumps? This is thrilling. This is great stuff. What if I jump and then squat? Jump, squat, jump, squat, jump, squat. Oh, wonderfully coded. Phenomenal. I'm not even jumping. I can't jump anymore. Really? What about if I plug it back in? Or unplug it and plug it back in? Where does that... The cable goes nowhere. Oh. Well, that was thrilling. While it lasted, that was thrilling. You can't disagree. Right, what's the next one? I mean, that was great.
Another
That was
elevator.
fantastic.
Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
Yes.
If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Why is the time still not accurate? Why is it 25 past 11? Why did it ask me for the real time?
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers
Unbelievable.
with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
You can tell it's made in 2022.
It's my fault, Stanley.
Find them on
I built
Twitter.
up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
So that's that's fucking ridiculous that they added that in the game. Just a fake DLC pathway. Wait, but now this is new. This is my old room that I walked into. This is different.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Now, am I the kind of guy to go crawling into a vent because someone told that? I mean, that is the most sus shit of all time. That is like my mum has drilled into me for years not to follow strange men into vents in the wall. She always said,
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares?
"What the heck? I'm not a dork. I'm going back in there."
Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
Wait a second. You just told me I was a dork to get me to do it. I'm going back this way. Is that dog gonna shot me? No. This is weird. Maybe I should go through the vent. Maybe I shouldn't be typing stuff on all of these computers as well. Go on then, let's have a look in the vent. Let's go into the vent. Oh, the broom closet. Broom closet is calling though. Broom closet is calling. Ah, no, I want to see what's in the vent. I'm too easily lured. If you got a chocolate bar and a white van, you could have had me as a child. That seems like a steep drop.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it.
So why...
Just our little secret. Take a look.
Now, why are you making different parts of the game? Oh my god, wait a second, you cooked. Wait, you cooked? What have you created? Oh! Eden!
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
It's beautiful! It's beautiful out here. This is lovely.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
The Stanley Parable. Wow. A trip down memory lane. Go outside, don't play for 5 years. It is impossible to get this achievement. They were cooking. They were cooking. New video game releasing today. Creators surprisingly down to earth. God, what if we could all just live in harmony like this forever in our little Scandinavian style huts? Okay, I mean I could do without the singing.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Oh, God. Really? I can't fuck with the place? Okay, okay. Keep me going down my lovely path then. Person of the year, that's me, Stanley.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com.
You only got a 9?
The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting
there is
dust
nothing
in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Source SDK. Repeatable carpet textures. How do I get in there? How do I... Let me in. Why is the door opening if I can't go in there? The serious room. Am I stuck? Where am I supposed to be going next? Should have saved the jump. You couldn't use them outside of the circle anyway. What the fuck is going on here?
These were simpler times, Stanley.
Oh, no.
But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
The maintenance.
Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Stinky Steam reviews, huh? And you were trying to hide them. You were trying to bury them. Ah!
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
me see. If I turn the video settings on higher quality... No. I was just wondering if these were low quality because I've set like the graphics texture as low or something.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
Preachy?
You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can.
You're a little
This is
preachy.
actually quite shocking.
You were
for
telling me to get the fuck out of the
I
closet
always
and
would,
comparing me
to be honest,
to a
I had
fungus.
always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down.
Well...
Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
We'll just tear it down. We'll destroy the game.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
Who are these stupid
skip
people
button.
writing these reviews?
Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Skip button. Okay.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game
I'm just
going
gonna
to
wait for him to speak naturally.
And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago?
How
which
much
is why I
of this
say
did they record?
the story and the choices, or what
Ah,
have you,
now we're
and
hitting a
therefore,
loop.
by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of
I
time,
see.
at which time everything all at once, so, now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices,
Okay, now you're
or what
annoying
have
me.
you, and therefore by
Now you're annoying me.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in
You were
video
saying
games.
rah, rah, rah,
Of
rah,
course,
a lot.
I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations.
I listened to
Not
it. It
that,
was
of
not
course, you need
profound.
a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination
you've-
and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto.
pissing me off again.
Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so
holy
my theory
shit.
is
And
that
I thought
any
I was a
choice you've
professional
ever made
yapper. This
is
guy's got
simply
the
a series of
Yapatron running at
choices made
full
by the
speed,
person who
maxed
you
out
are,
every
or
day.
were, or
Got
will be at
engines
the time of having
flooded.
made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place.
You're rambling again.
I guess I should become better educated on
You're
exactly
rambling.
how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is runs Steam will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review, merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review.
Are they going to get
so
into
that
a
the
loop
feature
here?
is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with Steam altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. Something along the lines of, this game is the best game. Let me start over. How about this? From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality.
He finally stopped talking. And he didn't even give us subtitles for the end part there. Well, now we've just got some nice silence to work with. Apart from the ticking of that infernal clock. Oh, I don't want to skip anything. This is pleasant. Yeah, I've already played the main game of Stanley Parable before.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes?
Oh, yeah.
It's not unendurable by any means, but
Quarter past 2.
Well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here?
That's a good point.
Where did the door
Oh,
go?
the door is fully gone.
Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
Oh, for God's sake.
I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first
Well, I'm going to
place?
have to hit
I
the
don't
button.
think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window, or something like that.
Quarter
Do you
past
see a window
2.
anywhere? A
Quarter
door?
past 2.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours.
12 hours?
You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my God, there's no way out of the room.
There's still no way out of the
Stanley,
room?
the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley.
Well, we're just gonna
There's
have to
no
wait
door.
out the
There's
rest
just
of
you
eternity.
and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're
The
back.
plant's
Oh, my
died.
goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks.
God, man,
I've been
we're-
sitting here all that time.
Oh.
Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking, and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just
see
talking?
anything.
But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that
You
I
needed to
needed to
listen to
know that
somebody,
someone
yeah.
was listening.
Yeah.
I needed there
That
to be
makes
a
sense.
vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story.
Speak to the-
None
speak
of
to
that
the
matters
tree.
anymore.
Speak to
I'll
the tree.
give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe,
Okay.
Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real.
That's profound.
Maybe I'm
That's
not
very
just a
profound.
fiction.
How
Was
am I
scared
going to
that
get
all
out of this
along?
room?
Perhaps. Yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in a stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button, you're still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. Oh, hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much
there's some
time.
nice diffused
I
light
stopped
in the
keeping
room now.
track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed
Well, if it's up to a
opportunities.
year
I
now,
felt
I mean, I'm
nothing
going to
at
be
all
dead
but
by the time I
regret
hit the next
for the
one.
longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life.
That sounds
All of
terrible.
them
I'm
collapsed
sorry.
down into a
I'm
single
sorry to hear
instant.
about that.
In that
Or
instant,
I'm
I
glad
could
it
see
happened,
myself
but I'm
clearly,
sorry. I'm not
calmly,
listening to all
with
that. Hello? 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 I'm sorry, I didn't mean to press the button so many times. I didn't mean to skip you. I enjoy you being around as well. Hello? Hello? I was just getting frustrated because I couldn't find my way out of the room, and I thought that if I skip forwards, then maybe there'd be some kind of path that developed. Because I mean, the door disappeared in the first place, so maybe if the path disappears, then oh, the fucking fire alarm batteries run out. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, that's fucking annoying. Oh, maybe we can change the battery. I don't have any jumps. Achievement unlocked. You can't jump. Cool. I mean, if I hide over here, you can barely hear the alarm.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with...
Oh, fucking hell, he's gone again. Bring him back. Bring him back. Bring him back. Bring him back. Ah, Jesus Christ.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Surely if I give him time, he'll snap out of this.
End is never the end, 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 is never the end,
He might not
is
stop.
never the end, is never the end.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, how many... Have we skipped forward like fucking millennia? The concrete and the steel are falling to pieces. Jesus. I mean... The narrator seems to have died. Or gone insane. The battery in the fire alarm's cooked. And even the speaker isn't running anymore. Eventually everything will fall apart and I'll be able to walk out of here a free man. Or my body will be decomposed by the plant life that's starting to subsume this place. Where did all the plants go? Harsh winter? Apocalypse? What the fuck has happened? The whole building's collapsed. What? This is the last piece of civilization that survived? Everything else sunk into the mud? How many eons have we skipped? Which direction should I head towards? The sun? Where do I go? I don't know which way to go. It's just an empty, vast abyss. What? That was an ending? I mean, of course it was an ending. There was no life left on Earth. Okay, well...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I don't know how
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
I don't know how
Perhaps
you
he
have
had
the
simply missed a
tenacity to
memo.
keep going, Mr. Narrator. New content? No, I'm going for the broom closet this time.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Content. I'm getting back in my broom closet where everything's nice and I understand it.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
What the fuck have they done to the broom closet? Let me in! What the hell? What the hell? They knew I was coming. They saw me coming. Miles off.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Fucking hell. I'm getting trolled.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Thank you. This game is very good. Surely we go up again? No, we're not going up again. Or just one time?
Whoops. Nope.
No. We're back in the
Stanley
original
actually
loop.
got back into
We're back in the
elevator
original
and
loop.
went
I'm not
back
doing
up.
this again.
Silly me.
Who are you people? Thank you for the
Why
40
did
months.
Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Okay, back down. We're going back down again. Back down we go. What the fuck? Do I have to go to the office?
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have. An incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
You can get in a little corner here, but there's nowhere to go once you're in here. It's kind of weird. Feels like maybe there should be somewhere to go. Why have they just created a little passageway like this in the game that's pitch fucking black? So strange. Okay. Back down we go.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
I'm popping off.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he? Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I'll give it a try. I'll give it a good old college try. So we've got cameras. Turn them on. Why not?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom
Why is that
meant
person
nothing.
fired? 104. That doesn't really show anything different on the screen anyway. Where is me? What was I? 427, right? 427. This one. Is it actually following me? Oh, it's on my desk. It's not on me. I mean, that makes sense, I suppose.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
It does make sense. Seems to make sense to me.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible?
You're
Had he
trying to
truly spent
gaslight
his
me and control
entire
me right
life
now.
utterly blind to the world?
Yeah, only 2 fired out of 600 is huge.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Or
For
alternatively...
he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Or try to run the thing and control everyone else's minds? I mean, does Stanley not crave power himself? Having been denied it over his own life for so long? Wouldn't it be good to have a little power over other people? No? Just me thinking that? Where's the number 1 button? One, 2, 3, 4. That's 5. Where's number 4? Hello? Number 4. Where's number 4? Where have they hidden number 4? Are they trolling? Is there no number 4? Am I just going to end up wasting my time looking for this over and over again? Is it up there? Is that it? Oh my god, how do I get up the stairs? I can't see anything. How do I get up there again? How the fuck do you get back up top? How do you get up there? All I can see is a staircase. Where's the number 4? Why do they have 1, 2, 3, and 5 and no number 4? What? 5. Is this not even supposed to be a puzzle and I'm just dumb? One, 2, 3. Does that one say 4? It's tough to say. So the stairs come down like this. I'm looking at a staircase there. I just can't see how to get onto it. The lighting really is terrible. I don't think you can get up there. For God's sake. Alright, well I guess let's just progress. I don't know where the number 4 is. Try it backwards? How's it going to help me typing it in backwards?
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Oh, I mean, it already says that it's off. So it won't do anything if I press the off button.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
Well, that's not
How
very
long
good.
until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it
Fuck's
to your
sake.
heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it.
Stop
Mere
waffling.
moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments.
Stop
each one
waffling,
of them
dickhead.
is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start.
If I...
What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
Where's the number
A moment
4?
of solace before you're obliterated.
Ah, maybe the number 4 is
All
up
right,
there.
I'm
Maybe
in a
that's
good
why I couldn't
mood.
get to it
You're
before,
going to
'cause this
die
was
anyway.
locked.
I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
Twisted.
Other times, I let the
Twisted,
office sink
sick
into the
fuck.
ground, swallowing everyone inside, or
where's
I
the
let
number
it
3
burn
again?
to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be
Oh,
even
no.
better.
I had to do it
My
upwards?
goodness, only 34
1,
seconds left.
2,
But
oh,
I'm enjoying
shit.
this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These
Oh,
are
thank you.
precious additional seconds.
Thank you.
Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me.
Not
what's
me
the matter,
pressing the
Stanley?
buttons backwards,
Is
not
it that
realizing
you have no idea
what
where
order
you're
I was
going
supposed to
or
do
what
stuff
you're
in.
supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off?
Yep, I
look
assumed
at
that.
you, running from button
I
to button,
did assume that.
screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or
Oh,
this
fuck,
door.
none of them
Everything,
work.
anything, something here will
None of them
save me.
work.
Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Sold?
Oh,
Do
shit.
you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
Maybe if I just leave. What happens if
Stanley,
I just leave?
You're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for
Oh!
you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're
Open
only
the
still
door!
playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you
Open the
for
door!
every moment that you're powerless.
Open the fucking
to
door!
see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to
Incorrect.
control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you
Goodbye,
can't.
employee 47. Fuck
Take a
you.
look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left.
Oh,
to
I'm just not going to struggle.
30
I'm just going to
seconds
accept
until
my
a big
death.
boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces.
You know, I'm happy
Will you
with the
cling
life I
desperately
live.
to your frail life?
I'm happy
or
with
will
the
you let
life
it
I
go
live.
peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All
10,
a part of the joke.
9,
and believe me,
8,
I will be
7,
laughing at every second of
6,
your inevitable
5,
life from the moment
4.
we
I
fade
lived
in
a happy,
until the moment I say
healthy,
happily ever
wholesome
after.
life.
If Zen wasn't supposed to flank, they would have.
New
given
Donna, thank you for the
footsteps.
54 months.
Should have just listened to the narrator SMH.
Why did the narrator blow me up? Why did he blow my ass up? What the fuck? The closet? The closet's gonna be locked again, chat.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
It's going to be locked.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wait, this feels different. Isn't this a different route compared to usual? No.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
It's still
Stanley
locked.
decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
They've locked me out of the damn broom closet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the
Am I stuck
possibility
in the
of
time
facing
loop
his
again?
boss.
Is there
Admitting
nothing
he
else
had
to do
left his
down here?
post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had
I've
vanished.
trolled.
His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to
I'm
Stanley.
just stuck.
Maybe, he thought to himself,
I would like
maybe
to skip
I
this
am
ending,
crazy.
please.
All of my
Can I use the
co-workers
skip button
blinking
again?
mysteriously out of
I
existence
skip?
in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made
Can
any
restart runs. Wait, does this full restart the game?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Like, is the
What
broom
could
closet
it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting
gone?
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh no. No, so the progress is not lost. There's still new content there.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
It's just going to be the same thing again, isn't it? This is just going to be the same thing. Oh, wait, no, different. Oh. Oh, it looks quite similar. It looks, in fact, it looks very similar. This looks the same. I
You
would
see,
say.
Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
That's good. That's good. That's fantastic. Wow.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities.
The end
It
is
could
never
go in
the end.
so many
Again.
different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Is it?
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can
This is
loosely
good.
organize
This
a
is
handful of
good.
interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Fuzzy magic. That's what I like. That's what I like. The prequel to the Stanley Parable. The prequel to the Stanley Parable 2 is the sequel to the Stanley Parable. Is the prequel to the Stanley Parable 2 is the sequel to the Stanley Parable. I like that. That's good. New features? Oh, like what? Let me watch. Let me watch. This is all very impressive. It really is. I don't like the way that I get locked into buildings still,
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Hear your name in the game. That's not gonna work. That's gonna say some... Is that just gonna say my, like, Steam profile? Is there a difference between me walking through these two doors as well? Probably is. Let's take the left one.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people.
I would agree
so
with this.
That in mind,
that's too big,
my
that is
first
too
addition to the game is this button, which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
It's not gonna work. This is a cheap gag.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is.
Yeah.
Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget
Jim.
whoever
Jim is
you
me.
are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Hello.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim. Sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust.
Well,
do you feel it deeply?
I don't...
Are you really
I wasn't
truly
thinking about that
Jim
part.
right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim.
Oh, it's me!
You see? What a thrill!
It's me!
What a rush! That was you!
Jimmy
The button
Wajelkinson!
described you! Do it again, do it again.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Okay, if we take a break, where are we going? Back through the doors? Let's go out the same door we came in.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Where's this going? Epilogue. Okay. Where are we going here then? Free achievement, infinite hole, settings world champion. Well, I don't even understand how we would get to infinite hole. Isn't the sky just the infinite hole? Is that what it's pointing at? Let's get settings world champion. It's locked. Crazy. Another jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well.
I don't have any jumps remaining, though.
Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle.
Give me some more.
Oh, well.
Give me some more.
I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
Give me some more jumps. Free achievement. Nice and simple. Free achievement. Nice. This certainly doesn't look dodgy.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's a Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
fuck's sake. God, there's nothing down here. This is useless. Gamers, we hear you.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Something up here? Can you find them? Oh, collectibles.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Wow. Okay. Wow. All right. Phenomenal.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Ooh, the infinite hole. The infinite hole. Let me fall down the infinite hole, please. Give it to me. Ah, that's how they've done it. Yep, that's a hole. Yep. Not really understanding that one.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Now, one of the problems with an infinite hole is, no matter how you enter the hole, you're still going to have some level of, like, horizontal momentum, which is eventually going to see you hit the walls. And if it's an infinite hole, you're going to hit the walls an infinite number of times, and you're just going to be battered to pieces. How can I drop myself in with no horizontal? Ah, fuck it, let's just run. Well, this is lovely.
You see, isn't it wonderful?
This
One
is
of my more
great.
ingenious concoctions, if I do say so.
Can I see the
Now
top?
then,
Oh,
since
yeah.
you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
You said it was infinite.
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one
Am I
perspective,
gonna go splat?
the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a...
Ah!
Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley.
This is not an infinite
I'm a
hole at
liar and a
all.
cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite?
It's a
If that
quite
works for
deep
you,
hole.
then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
I would like to be compensated for the lack of infinity in this hole. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of... Oh, for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you.
I mean,
The problem is that you like holes too much.
I just had to.
Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of...
Wait, that was...
Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel
Yes.
like you spent a little less time in there than you did before.
And now the cigarettes down here.
admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
Something suspicious happening with this hole. Something suspicious happening with this hole.
Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime.
Yeah, me too. I think it's time to... Whoa!
Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where...
That's
Wow.
really short now.
Okay, yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite,
It's getting-
but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite.
Yeah.
I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep,
This is
even
just
by
a
the
well.
lax overall standards for accountability in marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
No, I don't think I will this time. Okay, maybe I will.
Well, there it is.
What?
The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite,
That's not even a
but
hole.
It's barely even a hole at this point.
It's more of a
It's
ditch.
more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot.
Yeah, an aggressive divot's in it.
How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but
Wait,
at
I'm
this
stuck.
depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to
stuck in the
do and
hole
hit the
again.
teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Wait,
Hmm.
the teleport button's
Is
not
the,
working now.
Teleport button not working? You sure?
I've been
well, I mean-
trolled.
I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
No.
Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley.
What?
You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's
just
a
stuck in
win
a
for
hole.
everyone. You get to be with
I
the
got the hole
I
ending?
get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
I'm just stuck in a hole for the rest of time. That's... Help me. Help me. Get me out the fucking hole. Hello? Hello? Can anyone help me? Yeah, I didn't realize it was this kind of infinite hole. What's going on out there? Uh-oh. Well, bye. Bye. Bye-bye, everybody. It's time for me to go. We're going back down. You did invent an infinite hole that just infinitely oscillates between 0 and infinity. Change your perspective. What the fuck? What is going on here? These are so dramatic, these angles. Change your perception. What is going on here? I haven't even changed my reality yet.
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up this space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up this space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up this space of mine. My head's stronger. You're no longer using up this space of mine. My head's stronger. You're no longer using up this space of mine.
I'm in a fucking fever dream.
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole
That
is
is
just
a
so
fucking
darn
wild trip.
fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole.
Let me
I'm
out!
looking forward
Let me
to
out!
it.
Let me out of the fucking
Stay there,
hole!
Stanley.
Let me out of the
I'll be
fucking
there.
hole, narrator! Let me out of the fucking hole! Get me out of this hole! Oh. Oh. I've escaped, but I'm back here, not back at the beginning.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Okay.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played
The
it.
bucket
Well,
isn't there.
I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket.
Oh,
You
here
see,
it comes.
Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting.
Okay.
You may even come to
But
long
you've locked
for the
it behind
gentle embrace
glass.
of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, It's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Oh, you've opened it up.
Can you feel it?
Why was
The
that
glow
such
of
a
comfort,
creepy
even in the
laugh?
face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Thank you.
I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
Thank you, if
The
you do
benefits
say
of the
so.
bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
And now I've just got a bucket with me the whole game.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
I think Get Well Someday is better for the office environment, but in order to encourage people to have good relationships with non-blood related, familial members, I think we should go for the Happy 12th Birthday Stepnies.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
What piece of shit? You're just a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. You never cared about what I thought. Unbelievable.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Now what? What else have we got to do down here? This is the hole again, isn't it? I mean, surely going... Oh, the hole is closed now. They don't want me to fuck around in the hole anymore. Reasonable, to be honest. Very reasonable. That's new? What's that then? What's this? Expo Hall 2. Jump circle. This map. Free achievement. The button that says the name of the player. Settings world. I couldn't get into the settings world champion. Maybe we just leave. Let's just leave. The merch QR code? I didn't even think to look at that. The merch... As in, pull out my actual fucking phone and scan this. As a QR code. StanleyParable2.com. The official website of Stanley Parable 2. A sequel, huh? What the? Okay. Where was the settings? How did we get into the settings menu? Was it up here? It was, right?
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Right. So you just want an epilogue, but you haven't figured out the rest of the game. That's great. That's great stuff. Excellent planning. Settings World Champion. But I can't get in. I'm getting confused here. There's an achievement for settings world champion. I'm not gonna look that up. How do I get out of here? Mostly infinite hole. Fine, it ended. Okay. How do I leave? Exit. Is this the exit? Right. Here we go.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, thank you. Why does it give you two options? And where am I going?
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear
Not
yet
really.
how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Nice. That looks good.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay,
No,
never
it's
mind.
looking good. It's looking good.
Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
That one was worse.
Who am I kidding, Stanley?
It's looking worse.
This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen
gonna
that
send
says
me
with
back to the
bold
beginning
and uncompromising
with the title
conviction, this is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Yep. You fucker. Fuck's sake. Oh, what a beautiful title screen, though. Phenomenal title screen, right? Really solid title screen. Really solid. I'm liking it. I like the way that things don't look quite real down the corridor. Reality's kind of bending away from you towards the end over there. It looks nice. I like the red as well. The red's a nice touch. It says danger. It says low lighting. It says the power's gone off and you don't quite know why. It says caution. The slow movement of the camera. The doors opening and closing by themselves. The linear nature of it. The doors all closed. The illusion of choice and yet being driven solidly down just one corridor, never taking a branch, left nor right. Scattered parchment and office chairs, speaking to the apocalypse. Alright, let's begin the game. Is this just going to send me back to the beginning?
This is the story of a man
Fuck
named
me.
Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a
Fuck
big
me.
building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them.
I think it's
and
time to play
in
Disco
what.
Elysium.
This is what employee 427 did.
I think it's time to play Disco Elysium. I'm enjoying this. Wait, but I can play more of it another time. Oh. The balloons are there. The bucket. Oh, did I miss the follow-up? Oh, well. Oh, well. All good. I feel like the problem is, with that game chat, what you don't seem to have grasped, the people saying, just play a little bit more, just play. The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end. The end is never the end, 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 is never the end. Is never the end, 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 is never the end is never the end. So, in summary, I would have just been stuck in an endless loop, always trying to follow up on the next gag that was happening. Let's play some Disco Elysium. 100 gifted to keep this up for 1 hour? I would sit here for an hour only saying the end is never the end for 100 gifted. I would do that. That's a great pay. That's great pay. What is that? 100 gifted is like $350. $350 per hour for just speaking? That's great money. I'll do that for the rest of my stream career. Your body would fail you before you could? You're having a fucking laugh. Do you know how much I yap for on a daily basis? I'm basically yapping for fucking 12 hours straight every time I stream anyway. I just take a couple of little breaks while I play some video games. The yapathon goes crazy over here. And you think I wouldn't be able to keep up? The end is never the end, 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 is never the end. For an hour. Saying the same thing is harder than you think. If I was allowed to make mistakes, that'd be fine. If I had to start over every time I made a mistake, then we might have a problem.